Is the dollar's global dominance coming to an end? 5 countries are quietly making a plan. While you check the dollar exchange rate every day, half the world is trying to get rid of this currency. But the media doesn't tell you this. What you're about to see could be the biggest change in global economics. BRICS: Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. In 2009, 5 countries came together. Back then, nobody took them seriously. Now, these 5 countries represent 42% of the world's population. 36% of the global economy is in their hands. Have you ever thought about this? Why would nearly half of the world's population come together? The answer is simple: against the dollar. But the real bomb exploded in 2024, and I'll explain that in a moment. 1944. World War II is ending. The Bretton Woods Agreement is signed. The whole world accepts one rule: oil will be bought with dollars. What does this mean? Simple. Every country must first find dollars to buy oil. Turkey wants to buy oil, it must find dollars first. Germany wants to natural gas, dollars first. Did you notice? America can control the world without even producing oil, because everyone needs dollars. When I first learned this, I was shocked. Is this really how the world economy works? Yes, for 80 years it has worked exactly like this. But now, cracks have started to appear, and those cracks are turning into a massive rift. February 2022, Russia enters Ukraine. The West acts immediately. Removal from SWIFT. What is SWIFT? The International Money Transfer System, the only way to transact in dollars. When Russia was cut off, it couldn't use dollars anymore. But something unexpected happened. Russia didn't collapse. How? It traded with China in yuan, with India in rupees. It sold oil without dollars. And the world saw this. You can survive without the dollar. Think about that for a moment. An 80-year-old system was bypassed seriously for the first time. Other countries took notes. August 2023, the BRICS Summit. A historic decision. New members were accepted. Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Iran, Egypt, Ethiopia. Now there are 10 countries. Now stop and think for a second. Saudi Arabia, the world's largest oil producer, the heart of the petrodollar system, joining BRICS. When I saw this, I said, this is no longer just an economic alliance. This is a dollar-opposing revolution. But I haven't told you the real bomb yet. In 2024, something else happened. Throughout 2024, BRICS members worked on one issue: a common currency. Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov announced it. We are creating our own currency. A gold-backed currency supported by China. What does this mean? Instead of the dollar, you'll use a BRICS currency. Oil, natural gas, wheat, all bought with this new money. Even Indian Prime Minister Modi said we should use local currencies. Even America's biggest allies are now uncomfortable with the dollar. In October 2024, the BRICS Summit was held in Russia. 36 countries attended. 37% of global GDP, from the Indian Ocean to Latin America. Did you notice this? The world is splitting in two, the West and the rest is now bigger. For 50 years, Saudi Arabia sold oil only in dollars. In 1974, it signed an agreement with the U.S. Oil equals dollar. June 2024. This agreement was not renewed. A 50-year-old system ended. Now Saudi Arabia sells oil in yuan, euro, and rupee as well. The petrodollar system is no longer the only option. The natural gas that reaches your home, the fuel at the gas station, all of their prices are connected to this system, and that system is changing. But there's a paradox here, and if you don't understand this paradox, you miss the whole story. America has $31 trillion in debt. How does it pay this? Simple: printing more dollars. Think about it. If you had a money printing machine at home, how would you pay your debts? print money and pay, but that creates inflation. America's advantage was this. Because everyone used dollars, this inflation spread across the world to Turkey, Brazil, India. But now dollar usage is decreasing. Inflation stays inside America. The Fed raises interest rates, but it's not enough. When I read economists' reports, I saw this clearly. The U.S. system is not sustainable. Debt is compounding. The dollar's power is weakening. We've seen this pattern before in history. When Roman money lost value, the empire collapsed. When the British pound lost dominance, the empire ended. Is the same thing happening to the dollar now? I'll show you the historical proof in a moment. The Roman Empire. In the 200s AD, the denarius had gold and silver. By the 300s AD, it had only 5% silver left. What happened? Inflation exploded. The empire economy collapsed. They were defeated by barbarians. The Spanish Empire. In the 1500s, tons of gold arrived from the Americas. By the 1600s, Spain went bankrupt. Why? Printing money doesn't create wealth, it creates inflation. Britain. In 1945, the pound was the world currency. In the 1950s, colonies gained independence. The pound collapsed. The empire ended. Now is it the dollar's turn? The pattern is the same. Excessive debt, money printing, loss of global power. Do you see this in America? I do, and I'm not the only one. China has bought 2,000 tons of gold in the last 10 years. Why? Because there's a plan to escape the dollar. China wants to link the yuan to gold, just like the dollar used to be. 90% of China-Russia trade is now done without dollars. Yuan, ruble, barter. China is making massive investments in Africa, but not in dollars, in yuan loans. They build roads, ports. In return, they demand yuan usage. Did you notice this? China is quietly building a new world order, like the Marshall Plan, but not with dollars, with yuan. And the most terrifying part? It's working. African countries accept it. Asian countries join. Even Latin America shows interest. But there's a risk involved, and this risk affects everyone. What happens if the dollar falls? Think about this. All international debt is in dollars. Turkey's external debt? Dollar. Argentina's, Pakistan's, Egypt's? Dollar. If the dollar rises, these countries pay more debt. If the dollar falls, chaos. Do you remember the 2008 crisis? That was just a mortgage crisis. What we're talking about now is a change in the entire global monetary system. Even the IMF warned, there is a risk of fragmentation in the global financial system. Are you ready for this? Most people aren't. Even governments don't have a plan. Turkey's situation is interesting, between East and West. A NATO member, but wants to join BRICS. President Erdogan openly said in 2024, "We want to join BRICS." Why? Because Turkey is tired of the dollar too. It's making swap agreements, ruble with Russia, yuan with China, dirham with the UAE. When you see prices rising in markets, when the dollar exceeds 30, all of this is connected to this system. Turkey is playing smart, close to both sides. But if a war begins, it will have to choose a side. And this isn't just Turkey's problem, it's everyone's. The next 5 years are critical. Experts' forecasts. 2025, BRICS common currency in test phase, limited use begins. 2026-2027, 20 to 30% of oil trade done without dollars. 2028-2030, either the dollar adapts or it loses serious value. Even the IMF and World Bank will have to transform because the system is built on them. Think about this. The same system existed for 80 years. Now it's changing. This will affect your life, your savings, your pension, your investments.
But the real question I want to ask you is this good or bad? Some say Finally, justice is coming. America won't exploit other countries anymore. Others say this will bring chaos. The dollar provided stability. What now? I think both sides are right. The dollar system was unfair but stable. The new system may be more democratic but more chaotic. What do you think? Should the dollar fall or should the system be preserved? Today, I told you about the biggest economic revolution. BRICS is challenging the dollar. Saudi Arabia is selling oil without dollars. China is spreading the yuan. Russia is bypassing the system. An 80-year-old system is cracking, and you need to know this. While researching this, I realized one thing most clearly. The media talks very little about this because the system is still in Western hands. But the truth is out there. Now my question to you, which side do you believe in? The dollar or BRICS? Write in the comments, let's discuss, because this isn't just economics, it's the future. In the next video, I'll reveal another geopolitical secret, how one country controls 70% of the world's lithium and no one talks about it. Subscribe, don't miss it, because knowledge is power, and you need that power.